We're live. We're live, apparently. I've decided today, excuse me while I bang that microphone there. I've decided today I'm not going to do the watch along. So I thought I'd do a very, very quick preview, mostly to let you know that I'm not going to do the watch along, and then we'll do a review afterwards. Why? Well, just purely and simply because I've never done this whole England thing before. I'm not sure how much interest there will be. We've got one person, one fine person watching at the moment, which quite frankly is probably one more than I expected to. So it's just you and me, really. It's Jazza. Oh, there's five of you. Yeah, the Gonzo-cator. I don't think that's quite anyway. For those of you that may not have watched one of these before, I don't know, you might have just been doing a Google search and thought England Belgium preview. I'll watch this. We're a West Ham channel, purely and simply, but we thought we'd try our hand at a little bit of England stuff. I have a new camera as well. I've got some new equipment. So I just thought I'd give it a little whirl. There's some team news, as you might have seen from the headline as well, which is Grealish out. No, Grealish in. And Raheem Sterling out because he may well have a knock. Now, obviously, as we're going to be discussing the game afterwards, we probably will be concentrating quite heavily on Declan Rice, but it doesn't mean we're going to ignore everybody else because I've got a little confession to make. I don't know how to say this. It might be a little bit universally unpopular, but I think Raheem Sterling is slightly overrated. And I know I'm going to get stick and thumbs down and all the rest of it, but hear me out. I'm not saying that Raheem Sterling is crap. Far from it. And hello to everybody in the chat. We've got 22 people watching, which I think is absolutely marvellous. I'm not saying Raheem Sterling is crap. Far from it. But I think he lacks a little bit of fantasy, if you want. I think he's really lucky to play within the team that he does. Obviously, I'm talking about Manchester City here. And I think he offers a lot of pace, and I think he can finish well. But he's not quite technical enough for me. He seems to be missing a trick here and there. I actually prefer Jadon Sancho, and I prefer Marcus Rashford. There you go. Shoot me down for that. And in this instance, it looks like he's not going to feature. But for once, I would have liked to have seen him in the team. Because the team, and I'm going to tell you the lineup now, the England team, it doesn't look like it's got much pace in it. So it looks like against Belgium, we're going to play a 3-4-3, which is how we lined up against Belgium last time. Now, obviously, we know that unfortunate injury to Gomez, he's not available to him, and neither is Harry Maguire. But actually, when he played a back three last time, it was only Maguire that was in there. So he played Walker, Dyer, and Maguire. This time, it looks like he's going to play Walker, Dyer, and Mings. I like Mings. Mings the Merciless. Sorry. There you go. Bad joke, obviously. Right wing back, he's going to play Trippier. So many right-sided defensive players who could play that position for England. I don't know if Matty Cash is. I don't know. But anyway, he's never going to play because I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, injured, is absolutely magnificent in that position. Obviously, we've got Kyle Walker, who's going to be playing in the back three. I mean, he can play there quite well. And I think defensively, they're a few better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's a fantastic player. On the left, it looks like we're going to have Chilwell. Did you see Saka play? Did anybody see the friendly the other day against Ireland? Yes, I know. It wasn't a competitive game. Ireland are not the Ireland of old. And we can't really blame Ireland because, quite frankly, Ireland probably thought Grealish and Rice would be playing for them. So we can't blame them for that. But they weren't top quality, certainly. But I thought Saka, the Arsenal player, played really well at sort of left wing back in there. It looks like Henderson and Rice are going to be playing in the middle as a two. And then we've got Mason Mount and Jack Grealish either side of Harry Kane. Now, here's the thing. This is a David Moyes formation, right? As I've said before, I don't think Gareth Southgate is called a David Moyes formation, but this is how we play. So West Ham play. And I often comment about West Ham and about a lack of pace. And that front three, if that front three is Grealish, Mount and Kane, then it's lacking a little bit, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Look, the last time we played them, it was England won 2-1. It was very, very recently. And they got some wonderful players, Belgium. We'll have a look at them in a second. But Rashford scored, as you remember. Mason Mount scored as well. So clearly, Mason Mount, who doesn't get a lot of love, which is a bit unfair and a bit of a shame. I think Mason Mount doesn't get a lot of love because he's not Jack Grealish. And we all love, I say we all, I don't know, we've never discussed it. I really like Jack Grealish. I like that type of player, a floater. It looks effortless. Everything for Grealish looks effortless. I think he's a magnificent player and I want to see him in the team. And I think Mason Mount suffers because he's not Jack Grealish. But in this instance, I would have liked to see a bit of pace in the team. I would have taken Mason Mount out if he's going to play as the sort of right-sided attacker, which I guess he is. I'd have taken him out and I would have put Sancho in there. I've got to say, because I think we need the pace in there. Well, we got in the chat, plenty of people in the chat. Hello, one and all. Robert Ramsey said he preferred Jared Bowen over Sterling. To be honest, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not saying Sterling is crap. I'm really not. But sometimes I look at him and maybe I'm not. Raheem Sterling seems to thrive on his pace and his change of direction, and the fact that he can time his runs into the box to finish well. These are great attributes. Don't get me wrong, but I don't look at him as a bag of tricks like I do Jadon Sancho. I don't look at him as sort of threatening with long distance shots like I do with Marcus Rashford. And he's certainly nowhere near as good a footballer with the ball at his feet as Jack Grealish. Those are only my opinions. I think if you were to look, anyone who plays alongside Kevin De Bruyne, I'm talking about Sterling at Man City, is going to benefit from it. And Bernardo Silva and Mahrez, and obviously David Silva's now retired. But I don't know. I don't want to particularly hate on him. I understand it's probably unfashionable not to like Raheem Sterling, but I don't know. He doesn't necessarily get in my first team. I mean, Jazza said he thinks Sancho is overrated. Do you know what, Jazza? I don't think Sancho's overrated. And thanks for joining us, by the way. I'm absolutely thrilled. There's 55 people watching this now. And I'm thrilled. I didn't think hardly anybody would watch it, quite frankly. I think Sancho's overrated. I'll tell you what I think about Sancho. I think he's so gifted, he's going to be hard for him to achieve his potential, if you know what I mean. I think he's full of skill. And that's what I mean. I don't think Sterling is as skillful as him. He's got a lot of players at his disposal, Gareth Southgate, an awful lot of players at his disposal. By the way, the game's on Sky Sports for those that you don't know. And obviously, people have joined now. I've decided not to do the watch-along because I think it's hard. I think it's different with West Ham, and we're all West Ham fans. So I'm just going to do this video now, and then later on, straight away afterwards, we'll do a review and we'll talk about it then. But you know what I mean? It's 90 minutes with half time as well is a long time to do a watch-along on your own, which ordinarily I wouldn't mind. And I think I will start to feature more of the England matches on this channel because, you know what, it closes down for international break. I think this first one we won't do a watch along for now. So, yeah, I'll do the review afterwards. But for those of you who want to watch it, it's on Sky Sports, and you could probably find other ways to watch it as well, of course. I'm going to be watching it with interest. The Belgium team, I'll tell you what it was. I'll come back to you in a second, Jazza, by the way, matey. So last time we played with Walker, Dyer and Maguire as the back three. Alexander-Arnold was the right wing back. Henderson, Rice in the middle, same as before. Trippier was on the left. So Trippier's going to move to the right. Chilwell's going to come in on the left. Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford and Calvert-Lewin were the front three. Rashford gives you your pace, you see. It's what I'm worried about. I do. I think we lack a bit of pace. Now, Belgium are going to have Lukaku up front. A similar shape, but not exactly the same system. It looks like they'll probably have De Bruyne and possibly Carrasco up there. Tielemans and Witsel. In the middle. It's a very, very technical team. Possibly Denea, Beata, Alderweireld as the back three. Very tactical team. Very, very good team. I'll tell you what, Finn, thanks for joining. What's my opinion on Southgate? I'm going to get to that in just a second. I hope you didn't hear my stomach rumble. Then I'm starving, which is another reason I've got to feed the kids and all that. It's another reason not to do a watch on. Jazza, you said actually let's go to Alex first. You've been kind enough to join us and watch the video. The least I can do is answer your questions. Alex, he says, I think we need to play Mount in central midfield. If we play a 5 in defence, we lack a progressive midfielder at times. I thought Mount played well in the friendly against Ireland when he was a little bit deeper in central midfield. Jazz has said, I agree. Gonzo really meant that he's still undecided on Sancho, whilst others expect him to reach the top. Yeah. I mean, well, in which case we're aligned. I think technically, in terms of his technical skill, what he can do, he's got so many tricks to beat a player. I just meant with Sterling, I don't see someone who's got lots of tricks to beat a player. It's still good. It's still good to be able to change direction quickly and position yourself well and finish, get into the right goal scoring positions. They are still good attributes. I'm not saying they're not. I just think at the top level, you want world-class play. I'm not sure Raheem Sterling is world-class. I think Jadon Sancho can be. Kevin says, Gonzo, I think you're a great guy. You don't know me, Kevin. That's the trouble, but you are very kind. And thank you very much. David Linton says, I thought Declan was very mature during his interview with Southgate. Yes, he was. He is massively mature. I don't know if you've seen his goal. Declan Rice's goal is doing the rounds at the moment, all on social media. He scored a goal in training. I'm pleased with him. He carries himself like a leader, Declan. He carries himself like he's meant to be in the England team. And I think this is really important, particularly when you go through the process that Declan Rice has probably gone through, which is switching your allegiance from one country to another, taking the unpopularity that's going to go with it. You basically disappointed the nation, let's not forget. And I think when you do that and then you come into an international setup at a time when really he was unsure of his position. Is he a centre-back? Is he a central defender? Is he a central defender? Sorry, is he a central midfielder? We know what he is now, but then he wasn't. For him to come into that and then carry himself with such maturity and authority shows how much confidence Declan's got in himself. And I'm not just speaking highly of him because he's at West Ham. I would say that anyway, as you will see in the review. Play will play well. I will, we're going to praise him. Let's be fair. The majority of people in there are going to be West Ham fans and England fans. But I decided to do it. If you're not into all this, you know what? You can see in the title. Then it's easy enough not to click on the England videos. Finn, let's come back to your question. What's your opinions on Southgate? I think he's done a really good job. I think he's done a decent job. I think he's done a solid job. I should probably quantify that statement by saying that I think for a long time the FA have chosen the wrong managers. And I'm not entirely convinced that Southgate is the right manager. I watched, it wasn't the Ireland game. It was a game before. I thought it was so defensive. It was unbelievable. He seemed to have almost 5 or 6 defenders on the pitch. And I do think he's going to have a natural inclination to do things defensively. I think that goes against him. And what goes for him is he was technical director for a while, and he's always going to be keen to promote from the younger setups. And England have now got a conveyor belt because of the work Sir Trevor Brooking did, because of the work Howard Wilkinson did, and because of the work Gareth Southgate did himself. Sorry, I need to stop this chat moving. I'm delighted the chat's moving quickly because it means it's not been a total bad idea to do this video. I think because of the work they've done, we've now got a conveyor belt. We're winning under 20 tournaments. We're winning European Championships, under 16. We're winning Youth World Cups and things like that. This has never been the case for England. And because we've got a conveyor belt of young talent. So I do think that Southgate is brave enough to use those young players. What I do feel is important, though, is when that you allow the fantasy within the team. And when I say the fantasy within the team, you use players like Jack Grealish, you use players like Phil Foden, because if there's one thing that's let England down over the years, it's that player that has that fantasy, it's that player that has that magic. That's why we still talk about Gaza. If Gaza was Brazilian or Spanish, people wouldn't still be talking about him because there's been a conveyor belt of other players who were that technically good afterwards. We cling to players like that. Traditionally, we waste them. Matt Letizia and players like that don't get a sniff. What's his name? Charlie George as well. Peter Osgood. There's a lot of players who traditionally England do not use. We almost look at skillful players with suspicion. Other countries don't. It's, by the way, we're the same in cricket. We're the same in rugby. The best cricketer in the country is Danny Cipriani. He can't get in the team. We don't trust him. He actually won the Player of the Season last season in the rugby union equivalent of the Premier League. The Gallagher Premiership, he won the Player of the Season. Can't get in the team. He's full of flair. He is almost the Gascoigne of that. We're for people that are historically that watch the England team, we do seem to like a David Batty or a Paul Ince more than we like a Matt Letizia, and that has been, I feel, a feature of the England team. So I want Gareth Southgate to know that he played in the same team as Gaza. He sees the benefit of having somebody that can unlock a defence. So I want to see these guys feature. And it sounds as if, for those that you don't know, by the way, I know people join all the time, and you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. The team, it looks like, Pickford is a back three. Pickford's not in it, obviously. Pickford might kill someone. Maybe let's say we're going to win. Maybe Pickford's going to kill Kevin De Bruyne or something by rushing out of his area. Back three of Walker, Dyer, Mings. Trippier, right wing back. Henderson, Declan Rice in the middle. Chilwell, left wing back. A front three, if you like, or the next two would be Mason Mount and Jack Grealish. Mount right, Grealish left. Harry Kane up front. For those who joined late, I started off the video by saying I'm a little bit worried that we have a lack of pace there. Oh, yes, we are going to talk about Bellingham. Peach is in the chat. We're going to have a talk about Bellingham. There's no doubt. So, Finn, thanks for the question, mate. That is my opinion on Gareth Southgate. Danny says, come on, England. Alex says, my only concern if we play with two defensive-minded midfielders, we struggle to get the ball to players up top. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I understand. I don't mind so much if we play two defensive players in the middle, as long as someone else can create there. They're a good team, Belgium. What a number one ranked team in the world, right? What is that Peach? He said Mount is top quality corners. Okay, fair play. Prediction, firstly, I will give a prediction. I'll give a prediction later. Remind me later, because let me have a little think about it first. I like this Nations League format, by the way. I should probably say that. We did really well to get as far as we did last time. Jazza says another unorthodox opinion. He wouldn't play Grealish unless he's playing in behind the front man. This is a criminal offence that many managers, not just Southgate, have a tendency to mistrust their skillful players so much they play them out wide. I hate it, by the way. I hate it. Let them have a go. If we're looking in West Ham terms, get Ben Rama. Get Ben Rama on the right. Get Ben Rama in the middle. Get him buzzing around. Get him causing havoc. Don't play him wide. Andy says he's got it 1-1. Hello, mate. Andy is our very fine and handsome moderator in the chat there. Bellingham. Peach says Bellingham. I like what I saw. This is what I talk about with Gareth Southgate. I've just criticised him a little bit. The willingness to take a young player and put him in. Why not? This guy's playing for Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund, one of the best football clubs in the world, right? So, I mean, fair play. I really like. I think the kid is excellent. Daniel James says, "Is it mad that we all thought Generation Sterling would be our best forever, and there's a newer generation who are better than the last?" Yes, and that's how it should be, Daniel. That's exactly what should be happening. Kevin De Bruyne. Dandy said he thinks Kevin De Bruyne will score for Belgium. Alex likes that Southgate brings young players in. We can't play 7 defensive players. I totally agree with this. This is what I'm talking about. He needs to sort that out. Southgate has been lucky with a crop of players that have come through. We've not had a crop of players like this for years. What I would say, Ken, is I'm not going to call Southgate lucky for it because he had a part to play. He revamped a lot of the stuff. Two of my kids play football in the parks, and they shrunk the games down. They cut out. You couldn't kick it out from the back. You had to opposition teams at kids football had to withdraw to the halfway line to encourage people to play it out. All of those things were put into place by Southgate starting 10 years ago. So I'm not going to call him lucky because I think he put in a lot of things into place as FA technical director that allowed a lot of this sort of stuff to happen. Okay, so Ben Davis, hello Ben. He said Joe Cole's utilised in England the same. I totally agree. Joe Cole was a wasted talent. I can't believe it slipped my mind then. Exactly right. And Paul Scholes the same, pushed to the left and mistrusted. And the funny thing is, you listen to other players. You listen to Xavi being interviewed. Listen to Zidane being interviewed. These players. You listen to the way they talk about Paul Scholes, and look what we did to him. It's a very English mentality, by the way. What else have we got? Do you believe the FIFA World Cup will go ahead in 2022? Yeah, I think they'll make it happen, but it'll be a World Cup, but not as you know it, Jeffrey. Put it that way. Kent says Bellingham has got a class act for 17, got everything he can play anywhere. He is magnificent, mate. I really like him. To what extent is our current squad better than the 2018 squad? Jazza, we'll do it another time. I'll put the two together and we'll run through it. By the way, for all you, I'm assuming we're all. I just recognise so many of the names. But so many of the names here clearly. We're full of West Ham. Just to let you know, I've got hopefully a good video tomorrow for you, which is about the finances. Basically, about West Ham have borrowed a lot of money, and I remember I said I'd look into it. that's it's fact it was so much. It's actually there's 2 videos on it. So the first one was 24 minutes. I thought got to cut this, can't carry on now. So there's enough on it, but some good stuff in there if you're interested in all that, in why West Ham are skin, how much money, you'd be shocked how much money we borrowed. You're going to be shocked. So that's coming up. We've got those videos this week. We've got a cup of tea. I think we got a cup of tea on Tuesday, myself and Gio, by the way. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. Whatever games Scotland aren't playing, that's the day we're doing the cup of tea. Martin, hello, Martin. He says 2-1 to England. Rice to score. That'll be how about a bet? I might have a bet. Get on that. It'd be good odds, long odds to score Rice. Ben says, when do you think England are? Where do you think England are at their weakest? I think we're lucky. I think it might even be centre back. It might be centre back. I would say creative midfield, but that's just because Southgate's not done the shape. There's plenty of guys that can go into that midfield and be creative. I've already discussed half of them. Plenty. We got a lot of talented players. I think central midfield. We got lots that can go on. Andy Walsh said, Ben, he agrees, says at the back. Various songs. Subscribe and follow my channel. I started designing remix. Need your hey, I'm gonna do a song. Join my channel. What's your favourite England with no injuries? Again, Robert, thanks for the comment, mate. I will look into that. That's a separate video. I will save that up, mate, because we'll just deal with a preview, and I'm going to jog on in a minute because I don't know if you can hear my stomach rumbling. I'm starving. I'll get some grub in, get ready for the game, and I'll join you back here afterwards. Jazz, I still believe Antonio will be a terrific super sub. He's probably not as good as Calvert-Lewin, but the impact he'd make off the bench would be a lot greater. Yeah, I mean, I think his time's gone. I'd love to see him, though, Jazza, get a game for England. Absolutely love to. Really would. I'm so impressed with Calvert-Lewin. I just think every time I listen to him interviewed, he's so mature, he's so sensible. He looks like an intelligent player when you see him play on the pitch. Got a lot to admire about that lad, certainly. Gonzo, any chance of you getting Kieran Maguire back on? Kent, it's funny you say that because obviously, after what I just said, we do discuss Kieran Maguire a little bit in the video tomorrow. Yes, there is a massive chance of doing that as well, but you won't feel, mate, you won't listen to tomorrow's video and feel that you're lacking any information on the finances. But let's put it that way, because I'm shocked, really. I shouldn't be, but I am shocked. Andy has said Gonzo and his 8p acca. There we go. I've got a new computer, by the way, which I've been setting up for ages. So I've got the camera. This is all new. This is not only talk about jumping in the deep end. I thought I'd do a new video on a new subject using a load of equipment I've never used before. So hopefully it's crystal clear and you can hear me well enough. But clearly you would have told me by now. Alex says Belgium might win tonight. Alex, they may well. Kevin, great point. Rodney Marsh was another brilliant player. We just don't trust them. Us English, we're a bit funny. We're a bit conservative. We're a bit straight, a little bit sensible. No, it's a shame because we do produce the players, but we don't encourage them. Put a hazard warning sign on the thumbnail of videos. Yeah, Jazza says, yeah, maybe. I thought you meant a hazard warning sign on this video with old Hazard. I'm playing. Thorgan Hazard plays well, doesn't he? You seen him play? Does he still play for Dortmund? I think he does. He's a good player. Although I don't know what Eden Hazard's doing. I know he scored for Real Madrid very, very recently. Do you think Creswell will be brought up? No, I don't. I really don't. I think his time has passed. I'd love to see him play, Robert, but I'm impressed with Mings. And Mings is another one. Great leadership qualities. He's like Declan Rice. You can't have too many leaders in your team. James, I love you too, sir. You're a good man. You really are. Thank you for continued support, my friend. Eddie Duffy said, any other West Ham channel doing a watch-along? I'm not sure. It may be JP. You might want to look at JP. JP's done them before. I couldn't tell you for sure. Maybe. As I say, I would do one, but I'm not going to. I think it would just be well, let's do this one. Let's get this one out of the way. I think certainly for, look, I'll tell you what, myself and Gio are certainly, when we do when Scotland play England, we'll certainly do a watch along. with the two of us, because I think that would be an interesting dynamic. It was someone else suggested it as well. Jazza, is there an earthquake in the room? I'm telling you, that is my stomach. I am, quite frankly, embarrassed about it, but I am so bloody hungry. It's unbelievable. Did you say your Dembele is rumbling? I like that. I like that, Eddie. I'm surprised Cody isn't playing in a 3. Yeah, maybe. Ben Davis Letitia hardly played for England. No, I'll tell you what he did do though. I think Letitia played for England B or something like that, scored a hat trick, and then didn't get into the A team. What's the significance of this game? Does this get us into the finals? It's a group. Look, I think we're 3rd in the group. We need to get up to the top so as we can get to the finals. I'm not sure if the top 1 or top 2 go through, James, but it is a significant game. West Ham really don't have anyone right now. There's a good chance of getting into the England squad soon. Even Bowen is so far down the pecking order. Obviously, it doesn't mean aside from Declan Rice. I think, but I can't see Bowen playing for England. I really can't. But I love him at West Ham. Let's say that. If Antonio was healthy, do you think he could crack the squad? I think if he carried on, okay. That's a red. Sorry, said that. It's Jeffrey. I think Jeffrey, if he carried on his form that he showed last season, end of last season, this season as a striker, I do. But I think age is a little bit against him. Mind you, Jamie Vardy was playing until late. If he stops, if he finishes the season as one of the top goal scorers in the league, you would have to include him, surely. Hello, Ray. Hope you're well, mate. Ben's looking forward to the England-Scotland game. Gary. Hello, Gary. He says, looking good, Gonzo. Keep up the great videos. Missing going to the football. Do you think our form is because we're not there? Where we got a video coming on that, Gary? I think I think it's certainly helping some players, mate. So, well, hopefully I will see you back at the football one day, mate. Stream is lagging like hell. Why is YouTube so bad for live streaming? I would be interesting, Joe. Is that same for everyone else? Is everyone else's stream lagging? If it is, I'll look at it in the future. Or is it Joe? Might be Joe's internet. Am I going to be live when the match is on? I'm not, Joe. I'm not doing a live watch along for this one. I will do it in the future. I wanted to ease this England stuff in. Quite frankly, there's 94 people watching. I'm delighted with that, with it being a West Ham channel. Gary said stream was perfect. Thank you, Gary. Yeah. Kevin says he likes he likes the right back for Brighton, a Dumperty. I think it's Lamptey, but he looks really good. Got a lot of players that play right back. If you qualify for the World Cup for Nations League, then what's the point of playing? No, you don't qualify for the World Cup. It's its own tournament, Jazza. We were in it last time. We got through to the final. It was an excellent, I mean, it's just the semi-finals, then the finals, but it's good. It's its own tournament. It's a trophy at the end of the friendlies to give the friendlies meaning. I think that's the case anyway. Maybe I got it wrong. We certainly did play in a tournament at the Nations League. I think Ben Davis is saying it only guarantees a playoff spot. I think they're working on the assumption that anyone that's good enough in the Nations League is probably already qualified anyway. So it does throw a little bone, if you want, to the people that maybe not have done so well. But it's tiered, isn't it? The Nations League is tiered. So what you shouldn't find anymore is these friendlies, England against San Marino and the Faroe Islands and things like that. I think that's part of it as well. James Gunn said, no, his name's Humpty. Humpty Dumpty. From now on, his name is Humpty. And Gary said, I did say, Gary said, stream's perfect. Cheers, mate. Letitia did at QPR against Russia. Yeah, he did. He did score a hat trick, didn't he, Ken? I seem to. Yeah, that's it. Okay, stream's good for plenty of people. Sorry, mate. It looks like your internet is. You might want to have a little look. Do a test. You can test your download and upload speeds, can't you? And that was Joe that said that. In a bit, Gonzo, roast chicken is ready. There's no roast chicken today. There's no roast chicken. We've got some stuff in the fridge. There's a hunter's chicken, you've got to cook it yourself, but it's pre-prepared. I've got to be honest with you, the temptation to go and get a pizza is large. It's a big temptation to go and do that. Will Gio do Scotland previews? He will. I'll tell you what, he won't. But don't forget, Gio's got his own channel now, the Tartan Gio channel. So he may well do previews on that, but he might just be doing betting. It's look, we're all trying our hand at excuse me, I'm getting old. My knee clicked then. We're all trying our hand at different things. What camera am I using, James? I'm actually not using a webcam. I'm using a Lumix GH5. which I've had to get this Elgato thing built into my computer. It's a new computer, and a cable runs there. It's meant to be better. I hope it's better. I can obviously see it myself, but I'm not having a lag, so it would look clear from my point of view. So if it does for yours in a stream, I'm delighted with that. James, you cheeky little rascal, give me a £5. Bless you, James. Thank you. Do you know what? Funny enough, I'll pay for about half that cable I was just speaking about. You're a gentleman. Thanks, buddy. I do appreciate that. David says, if Moyes carries on buying from Czech, can we still watch West Ham during the international break? You know when they say that we're linked with the Czech centre back and the Czech goalkeeper, you're thinking, just stop, just stop, just stop. It's like sometimes one of my kids will say a joke and they get a laugh, and then they say the joke again and again and again and again, and the laugh gets less and less each time. Yeah, okay, right, you've done the joke now. I just wonder if there's a bit of that in us, really, where we're Czech League, great. Czech League, great. Yeah, there you go, Sufal, Czech, lovely. Let's go for another. I don't even know if it's legal. How many Czech players can you have in your 25-man squad? That's interesting. What else we've got? So if you win the Nations League, hence qualify for the World Cup, is that right? Do you also have to play the qualifiers? You don't have to play the qualifiers, don't think, Jazza. Get a stuffed crust. The cheese is different, David. The cheese is different in a stuffed crust. Have you noticed? It's it's like rock hard. If you ever have the pizza cold, which sometimes I do because I'm dirty and a heathen, the cheese in the crust is almost rock hard the next day. Peach wants a pizza now. Pizza's good food, real food. Well, you'll never know who invented the pizza. It was just someone who put a bit of dough and chucked a load of crap on it, but it worked out. That's an invention that worked, didn't it? Maybe not the frozen pizza. Whoever decided to freeze it, that don't work so much. James, he said, give in to temptation and treat yourself, because it wasn't for the cable at all, it was the pizza. Do you know what, James? I will. Thank you, mate. I will go and get a pizza. You are a kind man. Thank you. Kevin, shout out Des O'Connor. Do you know what, Kevin? I'm my nan used to be a mad Des O'Connor fan, and he did all the he did a lot. He obviously did a lot of television as well, didn't he? I've got to be honest with you. I thought he'd already gone. When I saw today that he'd already passed away, I didn't know. I'd say I was a bit gutted about Sean Connery, and so I love Sean Connery, pushy galore, and we can all do a Sean Connery accent, can't we? But he, or maybe I can't. You've probably got your own views on that. It's gutted, actually, gutted. Brilliant actor, great man. What on earth is that? Do you know what's happening? Sorry. Actually, I'm not going to say. There's something playing through my headphones over there. It's one of these things that done an autoplay, and it was I could hear someone's voice. Well, do it anyway. I won't. That's enough said about that. It was a politician. Put it that way. I could hear a politician's voice through my headphones. I don't like politics very much. And then I thought, do you know what? And then I'm watching a bit of Sean Connery. I've just been watching. I made the kids watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade last night as well. And I mean, these are great. Sean Connery, Clint Eastwood are two of my absolute favourites. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if it will change the glare a bit too much. Can you see? There you go. I've got a Clint Eastwood poster up there. Can you see that? Don't get to see that angle very often, do you? That's for sure. What pizza can you order for £5? Ray, that's not in the spirit. That's not in the spirit. What it is £5 less than I'd have to pay, Ray, to be perfectly honest with you. Stream is good. Thank you, Danny. Trying to find the Holy Grail, the new Yang collar. Yeah. Well, it's a monster. He was, by the way. Get a slice of garlic bread. Do you prefer normal garlic bread or the cheesy stuff? The cheesy stuff, Jazza, to be honest with you, mate. Cold pizza is blasphemy. It probably is. How much is a pint in a local? We don't know anymore. No one's gone up in ages. Ray Clements. Is that right? Is Ray Clements dead? Is that right? Is that right? When did that happen? Have I oh my goodness, is that? Sorry, I shouldn't. Oh, crikey. Sorry, I shouldn't have disbelieved you. I didn't disbelieve you. Well, that is sad. I mean, this is there's a lot of people going at the moment. That is very sad. That is sad. And yeah, Kent said it after. I didn't know, fellas. I didn't know. Sad times. Sad times. Ben Rama will be a great plus for the team, but for him to perform, he needs a lot of attention and the gaffer's trust. Says Amin. It does. He definitely needs to trust him. Got to trust him. Got any player like that. These skillful, flamboyant players. You've got to put your faith in them. You've got to trust them. Jazz has got a 75% off Domino's code. Hey. Sean Cronian touch was brilliant. A corn on your pizza. Sometimes yeah. Look, as we know on this channel, many things can go on a pizza as long as you don't put the barbecue sauce on. It's got to be a tomato sauce. John says the quality looks great. Thank you very much. And what time will Finance's video come out tomorrow? Says Robert. I normally do them the day and upload them about 8:30. I might do a little bit later because obviously we'll be doing this. The review will be quite late, won't it? So I might put it out about 10 o'clock, something like that. I'm not working tomorrow. I've got no work, so I won't be working tomorrow anyway. So whatever, I will upload it manually. Anyway, Jazza says, "How's the pizza oven, Gonzo?" It's great. It's great. It's great. It's one of the best things I've ever bought. Although I do use it regularly, funny enough, because it cooks to such a high temperature. So we cook meat in there we'll cook meat, chicken wings. You know, like if you ever got, I don't know if anyone likes Nando's. Crikey, this stream is not. When was the last time we spoke about England? A long time ago. Anyway, it don't matter. Doesn't matter, does it? You know, don't get Nando's, you get the sauce. And if you've ever tried to do it at home, it can't get crispy. Do you know what I'm saying? If you put it in the oven, it goes a bit watery. It's not the same. With this pizza oven, because it's stone baked, you've got a fire on top, it cooks Nando's. You get the Nando's sauce, put the chicken wings in, it cooks it just like a Nando's. It's brilliant. So yeah, I do use it regularly, actually. Although I've got to build something in the garden. I'm not going to do it now because it's winter, but for when it rains, I'd like a little canopy or so. I've got to build something so I can put that and put my barbecue. Got the base done this year, so I can stand it on it. I've got to build a little weatherproof canopy, literally just outside of where the door is there. There's a door there. Yeah, right outside of where the door is there. And yeah, out there. There you go. Right. England used to be sponsored by Nando's. Oh, imagine. Do you know there's a thing apparently called a Nando's Black Card, and you get free Nando's for like important people, or sports people and stuff like that. I would love a Nando's Black Card. Free Nando's. You know you've made it when you get free Nando's. That's what I'm saying. England used to be. Oh, sorry, I just read that, didn't I? Now, Peach says, now I want a Nando's. I see, I spoke about pizza earlier, and then Peach said he really wanted a pizza. Now he wants a Nando's. Peach is just basically hungry. Peach sent me a tune the other day. I know you just see Peach doing his reviews. Peach is very talented musician, by the way. I'm going to put some of his stuff up there. Gonzo, you know Upton Park is sat right above the chairman Sullivan. Did you know Len Golding was? I gave him a whole book. Sorry. Oh, sorry. So you gave Sullivan a whole booklet. I've got a story about that, actually. Not about your booklet, about Len Golding. I've got a story, which I won't go into now because it's too. But I'm not surprised, by the way. Surprised you haven't got one. I'm surprised. Andy's surprised I haven't got a black card. I wish. Look, I'm an influencer. Let's be fair, Andy. There are 93 people watching. I don't think, even if I don't think I'll be classed an influencer, even if I persuaded all you lovely 93 people to go to Nando's regularly. I'm not sure it'd warrant one. I think Gareth Southgate's probably got one. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Thank you everyone for joining in. I don't need to say a big long goodbye. It's on kickoff 7:45. Sky Sports. Enjoy the game. Hopefully you enjoy the game. Should be good. I will see you back here afterwards. I'm absolutely chuffed to hell that 100 people have watched this video, by the way. Thank you for joining in. James, Jazza, Andy, all of you that are in there, all you regulars, Kent's in there, Peach is in there, Robert, Sia, everyone's there. Lots of people are in. James, thanks for the fiver, mate. I am going to go and get a pizza. By the way, all of you, Ray's in there, Andy have made sure there's no naughtiness. There's no naughtiness. There's never any naughtiness here. My daughter is just texting me, right? They're not meant to come and disturb me. Do you want? My daughter has just said, "Do you want?" I don't know if you can see that. Do you want me to put the food in? That's it. Okay, I've got to go and feed my children. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch up with you later on. Right, how do we end this stream? End stream.